Then the second one is Pallas, or the other name is Athena, the goddess of wisdom. And here we have another dynamic, another way, say we can say another way of being a woman, or another way of being integrating feminine qualities in the personality. Also, if you're a man, as we know that charts, for example, have no gender. And when you look at the chart and you don't know who that chart is of, there's no way you can understand, divide things in gender terms. We all have all of those energies in us. So it's equally relevant, I think. Here with Pallas, we have something of Virgo, something of Libra going on. And the predominant theme is an air theme, the use of intellect, brain, cunning, the intuition of making those connections, logical connections, and also of active participation in what we generally know as the world of men so far, up to this point in history, and with all of our conditioning of what is supposed to be the world of one gender and the other. But say people that have, and especially women that have prominent Pallas in their charts, are very often in the role of this intelligent woman, or a woman that could be equal to everybody else, to men including, in things like martial arts, sports maybe as well, something a bit more physical, because she was also a warrior goddess, very often in combat, being stronger than Mars in mythology. And integrating the qualities of justice, equality, balance, very Libran, all of them, wisdom, some sort of integration of the mental with the physical, how we can use our mind to change the reality in which we live and to orient ourselves in the world and not be stuck necessarily in the most usual roles of either a mother or a wife. And here there is another possibility. This is usually the working woman, or the woman that's sometimes in its negative expression or extreme expression. This could be somebody sacrificing parts of her femininity in order to participate in things that we think should be exclusive of femininity, but using that asteroid could be giving us ideas of how the two can be integrated instead of separated. How somebody could be having a career and a family at the same time, or how they can be not misappreciated for their feminine, sexual, or maternal qualities, because they have the brains to participate in the larger game of society. And we have this on the MC, mostly associated with the MC, because this is presumably the area where people participate and they show what they're capable of, more in social settings, in the work, in the career, in the sphere of being some sort of a prominent person, well known, or many other options. While Ceres was very mother connected, Pallas is often connected to things to do with father relationships, father daughter mostly, and the relevant complexes that can develop in people, because we have things like the woman that was daddy's favorite girl, for example, and she's trying to please the father, impress the father, or men in general, and compete, even without having been asked to do so. But this is like an instinct there to compete with the male people in her life, and disregard the female qualities. And also, what Jung in his psychological works is proposing as the concepts of anima for men and animus for women, here could be a problem of Pallas in the chart for both men and women. So a man, for example, who is born with very strong feminine qualities that are not appreciated or not tolerated in a very macho oriented setting, or a woman that is turning into a man kind qualities more than anything else, one that's not just imitating men and competing with them, but kind of just voluntarily sacrificing something in order to be able to dedicate herself to arts and crafts. For example, one of the things that this goddess is ruling over is weaving, creating beautiful objects out of the imagination and the qualities of the brain, of the mind, then being transferred into something physical. And here also, we have another thing, the principle of being able to help ourselves or heal ourselves through our minds, through our thinking. So, how thoughts can heal. And when we have problems with Pallas is when we are not, in one way or another, smart enough or wise enough to pull ourselves up from trouble by just thinking of what's the best way out in a very unemotional way. So this is probably the most unemotional out of all the four Pallas. And there is something androgynous here in its ways. She was born out of the head of Jupiter in mythology, so she's a daughter of Jupiter, the god of the sky, and there is no mother. So here we have like a motherly, caring, nurturing principle missing, almost like a counter to Ceres a little bit. And we can see how women, for example, very often fall into all sorts of extremes in their lives. You can say she is this type of woman or that type of woman, and maybe because there is something there that needs to be worked on and integrated. Here, you know how the sign Libra has also this androgynous quality of the two sexes turning to each other, and one person, the struggle to integrate the two polarities and finding eventually some sort of balance between them.